Good morning, welcome to today's RC Coffee Chat. I'm talking of coffee. I feel like that at the moment, to be frankly honest. Not actually gone to bed. Well, I did go to bed and then thought about making a little model plane and that was it. OCD kicked in. So anyway, on to today's topics. I built a little foam board model. And yes, I do actually own some foam board, and I have built some foam board models. And I was playing around. Oh, well, you'll find out about that in a minute. You will also find out the progress of the 4D8 flying wing as well. Absolutely reeks of goop glue in here at the moment. Oh, blimey, don't know where that came from. Your vote on a micro quad as well. Bit of an odd one, that one. We'll get to that one in a moment. And topic number 4 is HobbyKing. And yeah, interesting question or curiosity around HobbyKing. I almost said hobby balls then. Oh, I did. Oh well. You're going to have to excuse my sense of humour this morning. It's off on a whole different level. That's what we get when we drink too much coffee and not much sleep. Right, number 1, built a little foam board plane, and here she is. There she is, and I've appropriately named her GTFO OCD because I couldn't go to bed because I was too busy thinking about it. I've been and built it this morning. It's all wired up. I need to go and get a little prop saver doodah for the motor on the front. It's a little HobbyKing, actually, ironically, a 1612, 3200 kV. So I know they go pretty well. And yeah, it's a bit mental on the old throws, to say the least. And I've even made little carbon fibre push rods underneath as well. And yeah, I think I've done a pretty good job on that. I think the C of G's right as well. We'll find out when we throw her. But yeah, that took about 2.5 hours to put together. Ironically, I just traced out the Sakura model, which I've got here, which I've yet to put together, to be frankly honest. And yeah, put that together, and now all up weight with the battery is 98 grams, and I can tell you this thing feels pretty heavy considering the wingspan isn't very big. So it's going to get a bloody good lob later this morning when the sun comes up eventually. So I'm going to give it a really good chuck and see what happens. It'll either go swimmingly well or it'll go swimmingly badly. I don't know. What's your bets? Let me know in the comment section underneath this episode whether the GTFO OCD is a fail or a winner. I don't know. What do you think? Let me know. Alright, let's put it to one side. It does look super cool, and I did enjoy building it as well. I must admit, that was a bit of fun, just playing around with a foam board, a bit of hot glue. Really good fun. And thank you to everybody's help and support in the forums. Or in the forums on Facebook overnight. And Stu, special note to you. I was only mucking around in my little reply there. Right, on to the 4D8. Let me go and grab that and put that on the other screen. Have those images been uploaded? Yes, they have. The 4D8 last night. It was actually the easiest motor mount install which I've ever done. And I genuinely mean that. Let me get a couple of photos up. I put some pins around where the motor mount needed to go. And I used the box cutter knife. And I did put the plywood in front of them in so. And then just got the knife in and just tucked it in. And I left the pins in when I went to glue it up. And yeah, that motor mount just slid on in. It was the easiest motor mount install I've ever had on one of those wings. Just really straightforward. And I bought 2 separate motor mounts for 2 other wings off Team Legit, and yeah, this one was by far the easiest. Now she is over on the workbench. I did leave her to set for a couple of hours, and then I've gone back, and on the top I had this like ridiculously thick carbon spar which I had out of another model many moons ago. And there's a super thick carbon spar which has gone across all the way across the model. Now I have put carbon spars down that wing. I do need to do this wing here later this morning. But yeah, I'm kind of stuck from when using one of their glass fiber ones on the top, because I do need to get in here and dig that out. So with that in mind, I have kind of like overcompensated on the bottom, and I've got a twin spar running across here, and I may also put another spar in here, or even go for a third along the bottom as well. I know that's overkill, but I can't go any further up into the model, otherwise I'm going to be in the bottom of the battery bays. They are literally right there. I've pushed the limit as far I can. That's as far up as I can take that spar. So if I don't put another whole one in, and they were quite tricky to get in, to be honest, and it was like test fitting. My wrist was really hurting from forcing the spar in. But I might just put one extra one across here just for paranoia, to be frankly honest. But that really has stiffened her up. That did make quite a bit of difference. So anyway, that's that topic out of the way. So the 48 is progressing slowly but surely. Once that's dried up a bit, I'll turn it back over, and then I'll cut out the bay where the vector is going to go in there. And again, we are on hold a little bit with that model, because I'm waiting for the Cobra 2810 1170 kV motor to turn up. So yeah, that one's on order. Right, what have we got on here? Oh yeah, your vote on a mini quad. So Banggood have been in touch. In fact, they've actually been in touch a couple of times, and they offered me something which I'd already reviewed, which was the TX03, and said, yeah, I've already done that one. And then he offered me this really not very good video transmitter. So I gracefully declined that one. And anyway, they've been and come back with this one. Now, it's a bit of an oddity, because they're labelling this as a racing drone, but it's only on 1S. Now, I'm used to flying these models on 2S, and they are absolutely batshit crazy, mental things. But look at the price point on it. If I choose FR Sky, we are talking $95. Now, I don't know what that is in British pesos. Give me a second. Oh, did I just choose USD again? I did. Not the brightest bunny in the bunch this morning. Right, 80 quid. Honestly, 80 quid. Is it more than that? Yeah, no, it's the best part of 80 quid for a 1S quadcopter. Now, that is kind of like Inductrix grade, isn't it? But they do have these odd little motors on the bottom. They are, the more I've looked at it, the more I've gone, WTF. What on earth? It is quite a little oddity. Now, I haven't gone back to them and said yay or nay. Look at the size of the motors on the bottom. They're not what we normally see on the bottom of quads, is it? It's a little bit odd. And I'm just stumped. And this is why I'm opening it up as a question. Is this like something which you'd like to see reviewed? If it is, let me know in the comments section underneath this video. And if it's not, also let me know. Right now, I'm here scratching my head on it, going, what on earth are those little motors? Because we're used to the little brushed ones, and these are, by the looks of it, brushless. And yeah, it's a bit weird, to say the least. Where's the motor specs I read on here? Yeah, 1103 brushless motor with a 10,000 kV. So that little motor is going to be banging around at, oh, we got 4 volts. So yeah, 40,000 RPM. Should be a little bit pokey, to say the least. So I genuinely don't know. Do I go back and say yes to that one? Is that something you would like to see? I'm curious. Are you? Is it something you would buy? I don't know. By the way, I'll stick a link to that one in the video description. Do let me know which way, yay or nay for that one. It has got my interest because it's brushed motors, it's 1S. Is it going to be bonkers? Or is it going to be somewhere else? I don't know. Let me know. Right, on to the last topic for today's RC Coffee Chat. And this is actually stemmed on from what Wayne over at Curry Kitten mentioned he did a dedicated video on this. And it was called, it was an FPV rant, should HobbyKing shuffle off and die, which is a bit harsh, to say the least. And Wayne's key point was over the packaging of the graphene batteries. But he did also make some very valid points as well. And I'll put a link, in fact, I'll include Wayne's video at the end of this episode. If you haven't been and seen it, go and do watch that, because it's not really a rant. He does highlight some very serious points in there. And I've chucked my 2 pence in there. You can read that in the comments for that video. But on a very serious point, I'm going to ask you like a dead serious question. And that's why we had the shopping cart open a few moments ago for HobbyKing. Is that, do you actually buy from HobbyKing? Now that is a serious question. Are you one of those secret ones which say, oh, I hate HobbyKing, but still go off and buy a couple of things from HobbyKing? I don't know. Do you buy from HobbyKing regularly? Or do you save up a couple of items in your cart and then go and make a purchase from HobbyKing? Maybe you just point blank refuse to buy from HobbyKing. Now, that also leaves me with a open question for those of you which, and again, by the way, I don't just, after my preliminary fun which I had with HobbyKing's customer support, which was not a good experience, if I'm frankly honest, is if something goes wrong on a HobbyKing order, I just kind of ignore it, to be honest, and just write it off as a risk of dealing with them. And I know that's harsh, but that's kind of my approach. But the things which I'm buying, and again, let me just go and get my shopping cart open here. And this is what I'm going to purchase today from HobbyKing, okay? And I'll explain my reasoning behind them. Okay, so the first one is some 40 amp ESCs. Now, I've had really good experience with the HobbyKing red brick ones. They have worked really, really well. I've got one of those in the Raven Wing, been absolutely brilliant, and it was in another model before that, and that ESC's been really good. Not had a single issue with it, and I've had it for quite a while. Now, I do need 240 amp ESCs for the Clouds for whenever she arrives, and I wanted a spare, so 2 of those are already preset for a model, and the other one is just a spare one for as and when I need it. We got 2 Corona servos. Now those 238 MG servos are really torquey, decent quality. Now I do have 2 11x7 props. That is also to go on the Clouds. Now I have seen some unboxing videos of the Clouds, and I do know that the props might hit the ground, but with that said, that's only on landing. If we got the brake set 99.9% of the time, they'll be perfectly fine. And by the way, I'm going for the, what was it, the X2814, whatever it was, KV motor, a couple of episodes ago. So that was the matching propellers for that motor. So I've got 3 of those just in case I break one, because I don't have any 11x7s here. So it's always best to have one to hand. Now that one's actually what Andrew asked me to order at the same time, so we can ignore that. Oh yeah, the Multistar 4S 5200 mAh battery packs are back on sale now. They are back down at a sensible price. It's £17.09 in British pesos. So they're one of those went in the cart. Now you can't get the 10,000 packs, and I've kind of given up buying one of those now. It was my plan to buy at least one of those big packs, not only to go in the 48, but also to go in the Clouds. But then the 10,000 mAh pack was no longer available in the UK. It was only available in the US. Sorry, in Hong Kong and also Australia. So that pissed on that party. So I've decided that's why I've got 2 battery bays in the 48, because I didn't really want to buy a specialised pack just for one specific model. And then I thought, well, I'll buy a 10,000 pack and then I can use it in 2 models. And then they ran out of stock. So happy days. Just the way it is. They haven't got limitless stock. I've also gone for some TGY. These are some little servos which are very much like these ones. Like that. The ones which I got on my cart are some better ones. What I decided last night, I was looking at the, in fact, let's go and have a little nose. And again, I rarely talk about HobbyKing. Now, I'm going to raise that as a very serious topic in a moment, to maybe that's one of the reasons why HobbyKing gets such a bashing. And we'll get to that in just a moment. But where was I going? I was looking up the HobbyKing Reactor 3D, and Andrew, thank you for popping that video in there. It does look like really, really good fun. And then I started pricing it up. Well, the model's 28 quid. And then you've got to chuck another potentially fit. Well, I was going to buy some 5-gram servos to go in there. And to be honest, I'm thinking, well, I've got a shed load of those Tower Pro servos here. In fact, no, screw it. Bollocks to it. I'm buying that one. I do like the look of it, and I talked myself out of it. And if I'm frankly honest, that's the reason why I built that model this morning. Because I wanted something 3D to chuck around, and because Andrew said it was good, and then from all your comments, actually, in the chat about them over on Faceballs, screw it, I'm going to buy one, and I'm going to put 12-gram servos in it. What the hell? So my point being was that, oh, now I'm going to get those extra servos. Apologies if I'm waffling a little bit. I'm trying to make a point here, is that instead of buying that model, I decided that I was going to buy some more micro servo, or little tiny servos, and I went for the better ones because I wasn't paying 30 quid or whatever it was for another model. So I went for those servos, but I'm still going to buy those anyway. Oh, and a white roll of covering film. Now, a little heads up, I have been super impressed with the HobbyKing covering film. I really have. It is pretty tough, really straightforward to put on a model, and I wanted some white film because, what's his name, Tori, you may have heard me say thank you to him a couple of days back. He did send me a photograph of his FG36 flying wing, and it was done in white, and it looked amazing, so I'm going to get myself a roll of that as well. Now, my point, and I wanted to go through the items which I'm personally buying from HobbyKing, okay, because I wanted to maybe raise this as perhaps as maybe a bit of a feedback thing to HobbyKing directly, because yes, I do know you watch my episodes, and no apologies for calling you hobby bulls. Everything gets called bulls on the end, you bulls, face bulls, Insta bulls, whatever you want to call it, Twitter bulls, everything gets bulls in it, and bang bulls and gear bulls. Everything, like I said, everything gets balls put on the end. But maybe, okay, and this is just me opening this question up, maybe HobbyKing are getting quite a big slamming because Banggood and GearBest are being an awful lot more proactive than HobbyKing. Okay, so when was the last time you saw a review for a HobbyKing product? Now, I'll let you think about that for a moment, but I know instantly what the products which I saw, and that was the Overlord. That really ridiculously expensive diversity thing with all the little plate antennas on there, which 99.9% of us would never buy. So there was a couple of those sent out. What was it? Joshua Bardwell got one, received one, and also Jeff from 7 Demo 7 was also received one as well. Did look like a nice bit of kit, but a tad on the expensive side, and for the vast majority of us, we'd never end up buying one anyway. So that's the... before that, I can't remember the last time I've seen a HobbyKing product sent to someone to review, if that makes sense. And I know that I'm focusing on YouTube specifically. I don't go and check RC groups or FPV labs or anywhere else like that. I am just purely focused upon YouTube. Now, maybe that is a reason why HobbyKing are getting a bit of a slating, because their products are not really getting put into the spotlight. Again, the items which I've personally posted about HobbyKing items have been, most of them have been pretty good, except for that Wingnetic, which was pretty crap, to be honest, and I need to chuck that one in the cement mixer at some point. Anyway, but also, maybe, just maybe, the reason why HobbyKing does get such a beating is because they don't have an affiliate program. So whereas GearBest and Banggood have the mechanism where a content producer like myself, or many, in fact you probably already know the other channels on there, have the potential to profit from promoting Banggood and GearBest and other sites products over the choice of HobbyKing. Is that now getting to a tipping point for HobbyKing where the smaller issues are getting amplified? Do you feel that that's perhaps a reason why HobbyKing is getting such a bashing out there? Do you feel that maybe that is the reason why some of those comments are worded well, not to say some of those experiences which have been mentioned on there, and there's no two ways about it. Their customers, HobbyKing customer support is absolutely, well, used to be absolutely rubbish. Diabolical. And again, HobbyKing, if you're watching this episode, please go back and read the message which you left me in the PayPal dispute, which completely broke the distance selling regs for the United Kingdom. That was absolutely horrific. But also, I'd like to note that that was getting, well, I'm not going to say a year ago, I'll say about 9 months ago now. So quite a time ago. That's why I was asking you the serious question. What is HobbyKing support, customer support like today? I know, I can remember there was one comment, some chap, somebody had an issue with a Wing Z84 and HobbyKing resolved the issue very, very quickly. I think they just sent him a whole new model as well, which was fantastic support for him. He was really kind of concerned about the comments which went on in Facebook, and he was genuinely surprised. I think we all were genuinely surprised by that kind of response which that person had, and so apologies if I can't remember whose name it was. But yeah, HobbyKing, do you still actually buy from HobbyKing? I openly admit that I do. I see nothing wrong with ordering specific products from HobbyKing. The ESCs are good. Servos, Corona's absolutely fantastic. Propellers are propellers. Don't argue with me on that one. They're all basically the same. And that probably just caused a load of flack. Apologies. There are differences in propellers, but they're 11x7, so I'm buying 3 of those. The multi-star batteries are absolutely fantastic. Those little micro servos, those little diddy ones, those are the 1440As. They're really good. I've used those in models before, and I've gone for the slightly better ones, which got a little bit more torque. Cover and film is fantastic, and you saw me just go weak at the knees for the reactor model as well. So most of the models are pretty damn good, to be fair. But do you still buy from a HobbyKing? Seriously, that is a serious question. Do let me know in the comments section underneath this episode. I am super curious. And is their customer service still that bad? And I genuinely, again, I'm asking you because I don't use their customer support. In fact, I haven't had a reason to contact their customer support in quite a long period of time. And the times which I had, I did actually forget to add something to an order, and they were super helpful on live chat and were able to add the item into the order for me before it was dispatched. So yeah, my last two experiences with HobbyKing customer support were both order related before the item or the order had been shipped, and they were pretty damn good, although I did have to wait a while on live chat. Maybe, just maybe, they are getting a bit of a slam in for one of two reasons. Number one, they're not being very proactive in the community. Again, the Overlord is the only product which I can think of recently which I've seen from HobbyKing promoted. Yeah, that's it. And I'm thinking, the major RC channels which I'm subscribed to, I've not seen anything beyond that at all. I can't remember the last model. And maybe, just maybe, HobbyKing are getting a beating because there's no incentive for content producers like myself. And I'm just being 100% honest with you, is that there's no incentive for me to promote anything on HobbyKing at all. Which, to be frankly honest, is a bit of a shame. But the first model which I bought was an AXN, and it was from HobbyKing. If it hadn't been for Sir Bruce himself showing those AXNs flying around and the HobbyKing having them in stock and me buying them, although I did have a few issues around that, I wouldn't be sat here with you, to be frankly honest. Their ESCs are good. They normally got a decent range of propellers. And yes, I know stuff goes in and out of stock from time to time. Their batteries are fantastic. I love the Turnigy A-spec batteries. And as much as I whinged my ass off over Christmas about the 12 days of fail, to be frankly honest, just before that on the Black Friday sales, when we had those A-spec batteries, those 1.3 3S ones, for about £5 odd, I was super happy. I bought 5 or 6 of them because they're rock solid batteries. I've never had an issue with them, even with my flying abuse, landing abuse, and draining them down to 0, and then just putting more milliamperes in there than what's rated on the battery pack. Repeatedly. Not had a single issue. With the A specs anyway, the blue one's crap. But I'm sure we all have different experiences with batteries. The covering film, pretty damn good. The Turnigy servos, those little ones are really pokey. Absolutely pokey. I'm thinking of with the Slobosaur, which I've got here. Someone's got those in it. That thing pirouettes, and I've not had a single issue with them at all. So some of the Turnigy products are really good. Oh, and so their kits as well. And I know I did in a video a while ago, and I slammed a vast range of the specific models, mainly probably due to price point. But the reactor general comments in the Facebook group yesterday and overnight was, it's not a bad model, Matt. So yeah, I'm going to go and grab one this morning. I'm going to stick 12 gram servos in it, stick a 1.3S battery on the front. No idea what motor I'm going to stick on it, but I'm sure it'll be fun. I'm probably completely overpowered. Well, that's the way it is. So let me recap. I built a little foamboard plane. I spent about 2 and a bit hours making that. Complete waste of time on my part. I did enjoy doing it, and that's the reason why I've been up for the... Well, technically I've been up for 27 hours again. So yeah, good fun. I enjoyed building it. Whether it flies or not is a whole different ballpark. We'll find out later today, and I will post either the flying pictures or the carnage pictures in the Facebook group later today. The 48 is progressing. That is still going to be, I'm looking over there, it's a bloody great big wing. It's going to be amazing. Now, like I said, I'll probably squeeze another 2 spars in it somewhere. That's for sure. Your vote on the mini quad as well. Would you like to see that one being reviewed by myself? I'm here. I'm here looking at it, scratching my head on it, going, is it going to be bonkers chicken oriental, or is it going to be a complete flop? And ultimately, would I pay 80 quid for that model? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Well, I can tell you point blank, no, I probably wouldn't pay 80 quid for that model. My view may change when we get it here and take it around for a damn good drag around. If it's absolutely bonkers, then yeah, my view may change, and it's that racing drone at the top kind of gets me. And those 10,000 kV motors, is it bonkers? Do you want to see it flying? I don't know. I can easily email. I haven't said yes or no, so you get a vote on that one. You genuinely do. You genuinely do. You get to choose. And then the last topic of the day, HobbyKing. Are they getting a beating because they are worthy of a beating? Is their customer support still that bad? I don't know. Like I said, the last 2 times I've had to use their customer support and via live chat, they're actually pretty good, although just a bit slow to get into the live chat, which, considering the size of the company, is not the end of the world. And I was doing other stuff anyway. And maybe, just maybe, they're getting slammed because Banggood and GearBest are just genuinely being more proactive, and that's where content producers like myself are focusing their attention to, because we have some form of incentive to mention them either on a daily or weekly or whatever basis it may be. I don't know. What's your feelings on that? HobbyKing in general. Do you buy from them? Do you refuse to buy from them? I don't know. Let me know your experiences. And again, like I said, I'll put a link to Wayne's episode here at the end. You'll see my comments down there at the bottom. And just have a read through. Let us know. You can do that in the comments section underneath this video. And on that note, apologies, this was a longer episode than normal. And I really am trying to probe on that HobbyKing one, because we've got to be fair to HobbyKing. They do have some fantastic models, and I'm going to go off and grab that reactor, and I'm sure it'll be here tomorrow. And by the way, their postage has come back down to a more sensible price now for us in the United Kingdom. And by the way, the other thing which I like about HobbyKing, to be frankly honest, is that when I do order from them, when we choose Pastor Force 24, which is next day delivery here in the United Kingdom, is that I get it generally before at 8 o'clock or before, because we're the first house on the round, which is fantastic. It's like, yay! That's what you want as a customer. You ordered like today, and you get it tomorrow morning. Literally tomorrow morning, crack of dawn. He's here, which is in my world, happy days. And that's the topics for this morning's RC Coffee Chat. And on that note, I'm going to drink. No, gone cold. I drank a whole cold one earlier. That's why I had that little picture of that kitten up there earlier. Because that was me about an hour ago. So like I said, let us know about what you think about HobbyKing. Let us know what you know, whether you would like to see that quadcopter or not, as the case may be. Do let me know. And on that note, I'm going. If you are out flying today, as Nathan, sorry, was it Nathan or was it Daniel? Nathan and Daniel, there we go, we'll group you together, I think you're brothers anyway, is that don't pop a battery in for me, fly it in a tree for me instead. So on that note, for myself, Matt, have a fantastic day, and I'll see you about the same time tomorrow. Cheerios!